is Juventud Guerrera. Now at our last pay-per-view, the Inception from Australia. It was Juventud. That Mike obviously damaged by the back of the Disco Inferno suplex right on our announcer's mic, for God's sake.
Did we sue Disco Inferno to make a paper damages to the
Ladies
microphone?
and gentlemen.
Juventud Guerrera, the former.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hell, I'll go at it. Ladies and gentlemen, Psicosis in the ring now.
Movies in the ring, please. Psicosis on his way to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a three-way dance. Introducing to you first, 180 pounds, and hailing from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico, Juventud Guerrero. Weighing in at 195 pounds, and hailing from Tijuana, Mexico, here is Psicosis.
Psicosis capturing the belt in front of a great crowd in Cardiff, Wales.
And ladies and gentlemen, 210 pounds, and coming to us from El Paso, Texas, here is Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yeah, big return from Eddie Guerrero. Have not seen him in quite some time, and looks like he's in phenomenal shape. Ah, look at that. He's jacked, he's ripped, and he's challenging tonight for the International Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Eddie Guerrero versus Psicosis versus Juventud Guerrera, the Cruiserweight belt of the World Wrestling All-Stars, on the line in this great contest.
In a three-way dance, Jeremy, you always wonder where the secret alliances may have been forged. What alliances will be forged during the course of a match? Juvi, Psycho, Eddie, they've all been partners, they've all been opponents over their long and illustrious careers. I'm sure there's a backstory going into this match, and I'm sure that backstory will avail itself in a big way once the bell rings.
Well, certainly the story right now, the here and now, is the Cruiserweight title. Now, really, I think so much at stake here for Eddie Guerrero. Something to prove. Eddie Guerrero has been through a lot in the last year, certainly, and back on pay-per-view has been a long road for Eddie Guerrero, but certainly here tonight, he's in the ring with two of the most incredible, high-flying, lucha libre-style athletes in the world today in Juventud Guerrera and Psicosis.
Let me ask you this, Jeremy. Does Eddie strike you maybe as a more polished all-around wrestler? Maybe a guy who's a little more accomplished on the mat? Maybe a guy who, if he decides to grind the match, can get an edge? I somewhat wonder if that's Eddie Guerrero's strategy for this bout.
Well, you really have to have a strategy coming into this. Juventud Guerrera, Psicosis, Eddie Guerrero. Three-way dance for the International Cruiserweight Championship of the World for the World Wrestling All-Stars. A little history on the belt. If you saw the Revolution, or rather if you saw the Inception, our last pay-per-view from the World Wrestling All-Stars, in the opening contest, it was Juventud Guerrera one-on-one with Psicosis in a ladder match. An incredible match, incredible action between Juventud and Psicosis. And of course it was Juventud coming out on top with the belt later in the year in Cardiff, Wales. Psicosis defeated Juventud Guerrera and now currently holds the International Cruiserweight Championship.
Psycho and Juvi kind of squaring off. Eddie Guerrero content to sit in the corner, but now he rushes in to the action, and it's a three-way collar and elbow tie-up. Eddie Guerrero has to fire right away.
Triple threat match. That means at any point, whoever catches the pinfall is the winner. Three men in the ring all at once. And certainly that can lead to some incredible scenarios. Look at the action. Look at Juventud Guerrera. Look at Psicosis. Look at Eddie Guerrero. Three in the ring at once for the Cruiserweight Championship. Whoever catches the pinfall is the International Cruiserweight Champion of the world. Eddie Guerrero now has Juventud Guerrera. Juvi now back into the ropes. To the floor goes Juventud Guerrera. To the floor goes Eddie Guerrero. And now it's Psicosis. Psicosis taking a run for it. Psicosis over the top rope to the floor. And all three on the floor with the International Cruiserweight Championship of the World on the line.
There's going to be a ton of punishment handed out before this bout is over, and it seems to be the smart thing to do. Oh, Juvi thrown into the protective barrier. It seems to me the smart thing to do would be to kind of lay off to the side and let the other two guys wear each other down. But that's not going to happen, Jeremy. These guys have too much pride and competitive instinct to sit back and let the other two fight.
Beautiful spin kick from Psicosis from the top rope. That could do it. Two, not enough to pin the reigning and defending International Cruiserweight Champion Psicosis. as he goes to work right now on Juventud Guerrero. Mark, you got to think of the strategy that's implemented by these three athletes. You got to wonder what game plan they have coming in. It's not your typical match. 3 at once certainly leads to some interesting and, well, some opportune moments, but at the same time can also be tougher.
And all these guys, oh, big face buster by Psicosis. All 3 of these guys have a mean streak. I think 1-2. Near pinfall for Psycho. I think that, Eddie's mean streak is the widest, but let's face it, they don't call the guy currently locked up with Eddie Psicosis for nothing. And I think Juvi's crazy personality speaks for itself, Jeremy.
Well, certainly you have to wonder at what point does it rely on instinct? Do these athletes go for instinct? And certainly Eddie Guerrero, Psicosis, and Juventud Guerrero. Really, if you take a look at the top 3 Latino athletes in the world of professional wrestling, none stand out like these 3 individuals, and they are in the ring right now from Las Vegas, Nevada. Juventud Guerrero to the top rope, has Eddie Guerrero where he wants him. Juvi sizing him up. Beautiful maneuver by Juventud Guerrero.
Big havoc Corona by Juvi. Is he going to go for the cover here? 1-2. Eddie kicks out. Eddie, the most powerful athlete in the ring by far, Jeremy. It's going to take a bit more than that to keep his shoulders pinned for a 3 count.
Well, certainly they all three bring something to the table. The quickness of Eddie Guerrero showcased in that maneuver to Juventud Guerrero. Juvi, probably more of the speedier of the 3, the quicker, the higher athlete, the higher risk athlete as far as the maneuvers go. Psicosis, a great ground wrestler, and at the times has a vicious aerial attack. Eddie Guerrero looked at as one of the top, if not the top mat wrestler in the world today, and is not afraid to fly as well. He's a total, complete athlete, Eddie Guerrero.
Look, we just went from aerial to power with Eddie. He did a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker just moments ago, then a big hard kick there. Now he goes up top and takes Psicosis for a big vertical suplex, held him up there for a minute. Here's the cover, Juvi off the top rope.
Great save by the Juice.
Leg drop almost took Eddie's head off. Now earlier we saw a leg drop that was unbeatable. I guess Juvi's isn't quite as good.
Well, certainly Juventud Guerrero and Psicosis have opened the shows back and forth on many of the international shows for the World Wrestling All-Stars, and certainly we are happy to announce we are going to be going back to Australia. April 14th will be the next pay-per-view from the World Wrestling All-Stars. It's the Eruption. It will be coming to you from Melbourne. And for you fans in Australia, that will be actually taped for the American audience on the 13th. So it's going to be a wild night from Melbourne. And certainly, truly an international promotion is the World Wrestling All-Stars. Look at this. Juventud Guerrero. Oh, beautiful maneuver to Psicosis.
Pump handle face buster. Here's the cover. Eddie Guerrero won't even let him get to 2. Eddie stealing the cover. 1-2. Juvi breaks that up.
Juventud Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero, and Psicosis. You know, a lot of wrestling companies and other promotions have been afraid to showcase cruiserweight talent for whatever reason. Well, we at the World Wrestling All-Stars appreciate what these 3 individuals, and certainly the 6 that opened the show tonight, bring to the table. Incredible high-flying action. These are athletes, folks. They know what they're doing in the ring and aren't afraid to show it. Eddie Guerrero, Psicosis, and Juventud Guerrero.
Eddie with that great cruiserweight maneuver of grinding the heel into one man's eye and punching the other in the face.
You have to wonder the strategy implemented by Eddie Guerrero. Beautiful. Belly to back suplex, and certainly not enough to pin Juventud Guerrero. Really, the disadvantage comes to anybody trying to make a pinfall, as there is always a third person trying to break up the pinfall from taking place.
You have to disable one, pin the other.
It's almost
toss
like
one outside the ring, get a pinning predicament on the other.
And that could do it. Perfect example. Psicosis. Now, a pinfall attempt by Juventud Guerrero, or rather that by Psicosis, that is interrupted by Juventud Guerrero. Heads-up maneuver. He knows, even if it's not him who's getting pinned or making the pinfall, if he isn't the man on top, if he isn't the man making that 3 count, he's not going to come away with the International Cruiserweight belt.
I think Eddie has the most consistent momentum throughout the match, although he's kind of out of gas in the corner. No, here comes Eddie out of the corner. Juvi behind Psycho, Eddie behind Juvi. What's going to happen here, Jeremy?
It's Eddie Guerrero. Oh, look at that. Juventud Guerrero.
That'll break your momentum, to be sure.
A shot right to the lower extremities, if you will. Oh, beautiful drop kick by the Juice from the top rope. Juventud Guerrero, Psicosis, and Eddie Guerrero. triple threat match for the International Cruiserweight Championship of the World, all part of the revolution from the World Wrestling All-Stars, as we are live in Las Vegas, Nevada. First time on American soil for the WWA, and certainly while we have been around the world, while we have been to countries near and far, it is great to be here in the States, Mark Madden.
It's better still to be in Las Vegas, and better yet, to be seeing, to my mind, three of the finest cruiserweights anywhere competing for the WWA Cruiserweight title. You're right, a lot of promotions say they want to have a cruiserweight division, but they don't do it, or they don't know how to do it. Well, Psycho, Juvi, Eddie, they know how to do it.
They certainly do. And Psicosis now going to work on the left leg of Eddie Guerrero, who looks to be making a big return and certainly showcasing his efforts with hopes of winning the International Cruiserweight Championship, currently held by Psicosis. Now, Juventud Guerrera, the only other man to hold that belt. And that belt, certainly at stake here, really represents a lot in the World Wrestling All-Stars organization, as you have seen these great cruiserweights showcase a unbelievable, not enough to pin Psicosis, but an unbelievable cruiserweight division here in the World Wrestling All-Stars, and we are not afraid to feature them, folks, and we are not afraid to tell you that that cruiserweight belt means a lot in this company.
No doubt about it, although it's getting real physical, real violent in there. Eddie with a series of elbows to the back of Psycho's head. Is somebody going to go back up top? Do they have the energy? Or will this stay on the ground and turn into more of a slugfest? There's a takedown by Psycho. Juvi now stomping Psycho. Boy, these competitors just keep going and going and going. That's the cruiserweight genre. A limitless supply of energy, it seems, Jeremy.
Yeah, it really does seem that way. And now it's Psicosis and Juventud Guerrera showing a little teamwork here. First time in the match any teamwork's been shown by either three of these individuals. Oh, suplex to the floor. Suplex to the floor goes Eddie Guerrero. Meanwhile, that gives an opportunity for Juventud Guerrera and Psicosis in the ring to trade chops back and forth. Those chops so vicious by Psicosis. And certainly, Juventud Guerera floored, as the viciousness and certainly the utter lack of regard for one's own well-being in this match is evident. Oh, there's a kick to the midsection by Juventud Guerera. Psicosis catches him. Oh, there's a face plant by the Juice. That could do it. Here comes a cover by Juventud Guerera. Could this be it? 1, 2. Oh, and Eddie Guerrero wisely making the save. That could have been it, but of course, in a three-way dance in a triple threat match, that means at any point, somebody can break up that 3 count from happening. Somebody can stop the other from getting the pinfall.
Well, nobody will go away and let it become a one-on-one match. Eddie Guerrero keeps getting thrown out. He keeps coming right back in. Juvi trying to buy himself a little time by putting Guerrero on the outside. Now Juvi goes to work on Psicosis.
Juventud Guerrero now whipped into the, Psicosis whipped into the ropes. And Psicosis now. All three in the ring.
Oh!
Wait a minute. Eddie Guerrero met with clotheslines, double clotheslines by Juventud and Psicosis. Juvi and Psicosis.
Double drop kick, but Eddie ducked out of the way. And that was a double chalupa buster, baby. Psycho and Juvi both down. Let's see if Eddie Guerrero can take advantage. Eddie going for cover on Juvi. 1, 2. No!
Not enough. Not enough to pin.
I think Eddie
Juice
might have been using the ropes for leverage. I couldn't see from this vantage point, Jeremy.
All three of these athletes have wrestled the world over. All three of these athletes have seen their share of hard battles here tonight for the World Wrestling All-Stars, the International Cruiserweight Championship on the line. Eddie Guerrero now to the top rope. Eddie Guerrero has Psicosis perched on the top rope. Eddie himself now in a tough spot as Juventud Guerrera. And Psicosis and Eddie Guerrero, all three on the top rope in the corner. A dangerous situation. How is it going to unfold? What's Juvi have for Eddie Guerrero? Top rope superplex by the Juice.
Now they're both down from the effects of that superplex. Let's see if Psycho can take advantage. He's struggling to the top rope, but he's